Okay, back here in the garage again, I got this 94 Honda Civic with a 1.5 liter. This has got a crank no start problem. Basically the vehicle cranks over, but it does not start. So I'm going to go through the procedure of what I'm doing here to get this vehicle back running. This car is a stick, so we're going to make sure this baby's in neutral. The parking brake is set. And I have a broomstick that goes down and pushes the clutch down and comes up and hits the back of the seat. Because you got to have that compressed for the, basically to get spark. One thing I did do, which I'm assuming that I have a good fuel pump because I can hear it kick on when you turn the ignition on. And now I've got the ignition turned on. So basically, since I usually work by myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here on the starter and I'm going to pull that harness back. Which that reveals that connector right there. And what that will allow me to do is to crank the vehicle over without having to be inside or have someone help me. So I'm just going to take my power probe and send positive signal to that to crank the motor over. One thing I'm going to want to know is, where is my battery sitting? Because, you know, you never know. It could be having a little bit of a voltage problem. And I am a little bit low because the ignition's been on for a little bit. But that's not really going to be low enough to throw me a low spark issue. So now, since I'm suspecting that I've got good fuel pressure and getting fuel to the fuel injectors, I'm going to kind of guess that there might be something going wrong in the distributor. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my little spark plug tester here, and I'm going to see if this baby lights up. And I'm going to use my power probe to go down here to the starter and jump it and get this thing to turn over. And it's not lighting up. So let's get inside the distributor and check out the coil. The coil here has 3 fasteners that hold it on. You can use a Phillips to break them loose. Or what I recommend, the 8mm, to get on there and get these things out. And then your cap will release. Now the next thing is we got to get the rotor button off. And how that's done is there's a Phillips on the top of it. So we got to crank the engine around because we're going to be accessing it right there. So there it is. And there's my power probe going down there to hit the starter to get this baby to turn over. So now we've got access to get our Phillips in there and remove the rotor button. So now we'll take our Phillips in here and loosen up the rotor button. There's the screw. Now the rotor button sometimes gets a little seized, so you might have to take the screwdriver behind it and just gently help it out a little bit and push it off. Now we'll remove our plastic cover, and now we're to the coil. Inside the distributor you have right here, which is the coil pack. Down here is the control modular, and then right here are the triggers for to commence the firing. There's one in here, then there's one in the back. So we're going to be testing to see if this is a good coil or not. So I'm going to take my spark tester again. I'm going to stick it on here on the coil. I'm going to turn over the engine again. Nothing. So for some reason the coil's not firing. So now we're going to go a little more in depth and try to figure out why the coil's not firing. Because it could be the control module or it could be the signal triggers. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to test the ignition coil and igniter for power. So I got a test light here. I found a good ground. I'm going to take it, and right here on the side of your coil it'll specify positive and negative. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to touch the terminal that has the yellow with the black wire. And now you see that my test light is lit up, and we're going to want to crank over the engine and make sure that light stays on. And it did. So that test checked out okay. So we do have power going to the coil. So the next thing we're going to do is test the ignition coil switch signal. So I took my probe, I've hooked it up to the positive side of my battery, and I'm going to touch the negative side of the coil. Now unfortunately you're not going to be able to see it with on this video, but when I go to hit this, the light barely lights up, and that's telling me, and it should be pulsing in and out with like every hit of the engine, and that's telling you that that coil should be firing, and it's not. So I'm willing to suspect I've got a bad coil, but I'm going to go one step farther. So my next step is that I'm going to go just a little bit farther with this, is I'm going to test and make sure the ECM is communicating to this distributor to fire. So basically all the signal, or this reading off of this, sending here, it's sending back to the computer to tell the computer for this distributor to, or this coil to fire. So basically I'm going to use my power probe this time, and then I've got my jumper wire here that I'm going to go down and touch to crank the engine over. But this pigtail right here has 7 leads to it, and what I'm going to be looking for is this lead all the way here in the back, and it's going to be a yellow and green wire. And basically I probed that wire, and if you can see, my red light is on my power probe. It has 12 volts going to it, or less, I don't remember. I think it's less, it may be like only 5 volts. But that light is now on. So I'll take my wire lead down there, and I'm going to touch my starter again and get this engine to crank over. This light should flash, basically telling this to fire. I don't know if you've seen that, but it was flashing. So I know my ECM is communicating to tell this engine to fire, but it's not. So I would say it's safe to say that we should replace the coil. And to remove the coil, you're going to want to disconnect the battery, because you have positive signal coming down here, and you could ground something and screw up your ignition module or something else. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery. It's pretty easy to replace your coil. I'm basically going to take off the negative wire lead. It's basically just a wiring clip, just like that. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. And then I'm going to take a small Phillips screwdriver and take off the positive lead, because it's actually 2 different wires going to it. And make sure you don't lose your little screw. And then all there is 2 Phillips fasteners to the coil pack. And then your coil pack just slides right out. Here's our new coil pack, and like I was saying, there's a positive and negative side. It's printed on the side of the coil pack. So then we'll just reverse the process and put the coil back in. So the next thing is take our test flight and we will check and see if this coil is now working. And it is. That was the problem with this vehicle, is the coil was bad. And now we'll just go ahead and button it back up and this person's got a good working vehicle again. So that should make them happy. So I hope this video helps you out. And like always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and check me out on Facebook, and that's all one word, Dave's Garage 512. And just to let you know, you can take a jumper wire like this and hook it to a screwdriver and hook it to a negative lead. And you can also get down there on it again. Do the same thing with testing it. You don't really need a test light. A test light helps with the other diagnosing parts, or you could have used this, watch it, and you might shock yourself putting that up against there, so you might want to use some pliers or something. Don't hold on to this when you're testing a vehicle, because it can induce shock, and I don't want to see anybody get shocked. So just, you know, don't hold that.